we especially thank everyone for making our time for you here today. And we shall proceed now to the first agenda on our list, which is the call to order. We invite the chairman to all the meetings to order.
Thank you very much, Engineer Bright. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues, fellow members of the engineering family. It's indeed a real honor and privilege to have you on this public lecture. I'm sure we are going to have the best learning experience today. So at this time, 13 minutes after 4, I call this public lecture to order. Back to you, Engineer Bright.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So we'll just quickly take the ground rules. So we request that you please mute your mic unless you're given the floor to speak. And please use only one device at a time to avoid any form of disruption during the meeting. And if you'd like to make your contributions, we ask that you use the chat box to send in your messages. And please raise your hands if you wish to contribute or ask questions during the public lecture. Thank you very much. So now we start by taking the opening prayer. We call on a volunteer to please make the opening prayer, just as it is on the display on the screen. Any volunteer, please? And any volunteer, please take the opening prayer.
In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Lord, we commit the day into your hands. We thank you for bringing us together again. And as we go into this public lecture, Lord, we ask that you grant us understanding and grant us coherence. And for those who are in their respective homes, oh God, grant every one of us safety. This we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you very much, sir. So we proceed now to the national anthem. The first stanza of the national anthem. So let's take the national anthem together. 1, 2, go. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much for that session. So now we'll proceed to the chairman's welcome address. We invite the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Victoria Land Branch to please make his welcome address. Engineer Emeka Ibe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Engineer Bright. Good evening, distinguished colleagues, once again. Before I go into my address, please permit me to acknowledge all the fellows that are on this virtual public lecture, starting from one of our facilitators, Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulu, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. So thank you for joining us today and share knowledge with us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, and good evening all.
Thank you, sir. So still on the recognition, permit me to recognize Engineer Joan Nweke, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers. Thank you very much, ma, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, sir. And I wish all of us a fruitful lecture today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. As we move on, any other fellow we see on the platform would acknowledge them accordingly. On my welcome address proper, permit me to read directly from the UNESCO website. It says, the World Engineering Day is for sustainable development is an official international day proclaimed in 2019 by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. This was based on a proposal from the World Federation of Engineering Organization, WFEO. So bringing that to Nigeria, today we use it as an opportunity to reflect on the practice of engineering in this country. What are the challenges? What are the ways forward? And possibly even prepare a common stance on any issues relating to engineers and engineering in this country, and advise government accordingly. I'm sure a lot of us joined in this morning by 11 when our able president, Engineer Tashiri Budai-Wudil, addressed a press conference in this regard. And he also pointed out that every branch of the Nigerian Society of Engineers is going on with is having an event today. And that is why we're having this public lecture. This is just to give us the opportunity to reflect on everything that is a challenge to the practice of engineering in Nigeria, and rub minds on how to move forward. And that is why I'm so happy that we are having this lecture, and also we have authorities on various segments of engineering practice to address us so that we can be better off moving forward. So once again, I appreciate everyone who has joined us today, and I wish you the very best of learning today, and a very fruitful engineering celebration today and beyond. Thank you so much. I hand over to our host, Engineer Bright, to continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the welcome address, and we really appreciate your kind words. And we move on now to the next agenda for today, which is our first public lecture. Public lecture will be given by our speaker, Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulu, who is the MD CEO of Ujiad Limited. And before we proceed, we'll call on Engineer Francis to kindly read out the profile of our engineer for today's lecture, the first public lecture. Engineer Francis, over to you, sir.
Okay, so Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulu is a native of Onubi in Inewi South Local Government in Anambra State, born in Lagos State. He's the immediate past former chairman, Lagos State chapter of Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers. He was General Secretary of Nigerian Society of Engineers, VI branch, and pioneer technical secretary of the branch. He was a pioneer chief inspector of engineering regulation and monitoring arm of Korean Victoria Island Inspectorate. Obiajulu has PhD, MTech, PGD in mechanical engineering from Rivers State University of Science and Technology, PhD and HND, and HND from the Institute of Management and Technology, Enugu. He did his WASC at Metropolitan Secondary School, Onitsha. He did his NYC at Leyland Motors Limited, Ibadan, before going to Portugal for postgraduate studies on special automobile engineering at INASI LDA, Azambuja. He returned to Nigeria in 1988 and worked with Cospam Limited, where he designed the first fire service trucks made in Nigeria. He worked in Anambra Motor Manufacturing Motor Company, Anamco, Enugu, from 1989 to 1990, when he joined Slumbeja Oil Services Limited as field supervisor and rose to become General Service Supervisor before joining Chevron Nigeria Limited in 1996. Uche worked with operations units, Deepwater Development Unit, and Production Engineering Unit of Nigeria Mid-Africa, and retired in 2014 as onshore area production engineer in charge of Eastern operations and Western swamp operations. He set up, among other businesses, and is currently the CEO of UCJD Limited, a company that's into oil and gas services, engineering in pumping services.
Thank you very much, Engineer Francis, for that one introduction. Now we hand over to Engineer Uche, Engineer Dr. Uche. Please make your presentation.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, all the fellows, my chairman, my technical secretary, and every ESCO here present. I recognize all of you. I recognize all the members of the branch and other associates, branches and chapters of Nigerian Society of Engineers that are here present. This evening, I want to, our team is engineering innovation for a more resilient world. And I chose a topic out of it, which I titled Innovation Towards Redeeming Challenges of Civilization and Sciences. And my name is Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulu, FNSC, FNMK. On my introduction, every scientific breakthrough that has been made, no matter what it is, as palatable as it may be, so sweet and comfortable it may be, they all have consequences. The good, some of them are good consequences, some of them are bad, some are ugly, just ugly. Automobile industry, for example, produced car on January 1886. And the inventor is a German called Benz. It was widely available from 20th century. But again, while you and I can drive all the way, from here to Jos or to anywhere, with air condition, with all this, then we have a lot. Then we are battling with nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, benzene, formaldehyde, hydrocarbons, and then the associated rain acid. Acid rain that go with all these things when they react with vapors in the air. And these things are ravaging the world today, causing various health challenges, including cancer. That is the car we're celebrating. Somebody that buy a car today will call his friends to come and drink. I bought a new car. But again, that's what is our adversity. On the other side, industrialization has brought economic prosperity. Yes. Today we say that we want to be, everybody want to envy, everybody's envying America, Japan, Germany, and all those. We want to all be industrialized. But industrialization has also, even though it has brought economic prosperity, but it has caused more population, urbanization, stress, and basic life supporting systems, which is under challenge because of population and all that, and is pushing the environmental impact closer to the threshold limit of tolerance. This has caused us terrible global warming that created harsh climate changes in the world. You see, all of us want to be industrialized, but you can see, people are clustering in cities because there are industries in Lagos. There are so many people in Lagos that want to come to Lagos because they believe they're going to get job in the industry or support businesses to industries. Then civilization itself has caused high cost of living. And of course, high cost of living is the reason why we have crimes and prostitution today. Because, if there's no phone, for example, if there's no cell phone, there will be no need to buy credit card. There's no need to buy recharge card. there will be no need to pay postpaid, whatever. If there's no gas, if there's no gas cooker, there will be no need to buy gas. If there is no aeroplane, you don't have to buy something more expensive. If you're not, the more comfort, the more standard of living is increasing, the more it's giving us, high cost of living. Then the challenges is there's catching up with this. And because of the trends vary from person to person, there will be emulations, envy, jealousies, and some people want to live above their means. And then crime comes in, prostitutions, and all manner of even violent crime. But I say there must be something we need to do if we must have a resilient, development system. We need to do something about this, and I mean very fast, not just doing something, not just doing something to mitigate these consequences. And these consequences, don't forget, is the one induced by the challenges that we just said. And then we need to redeem the world. We need to redeem the world from possible disaster due to these challenges. And in all this, I just looked at the whole things, this avalanche of things I just listed up there. And I said, well, which can I talk about? Which is, among all this we need to do, or we need to contend with, to have a world that we can live in, that we can sustain. And I chose climate change. And climate change and the possible engineering and individual solutions that we can apply to mitigate it. And now, what is climate change? Because it may interest you that many engineers, high-placed engineers, don't even know what they mean when they say climate change. Some people don't know what it is. But climate change simply refers to long-term shift in temperatures and weather patterns. The changes may be natural, like variations in the solar system. Most of the drives of climate change is human beings. And it may shock you that engineers and scientists contribute a lot to what we call today climate change. The excess heat you are complaining about, the flooding you are complaining about, all manner of health systems that our grandfather never saw in their own time. They're all coming up today. Some of these sicknesses, I'm sure if our grandfathers and our ancestors are alive, and you're telling them there are such names like COVID and all these things, I'm sure they will ask you, what are you talking about? All manner of cancers and all that. Now, human beings burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which Nigeria has a lot of it. And this fossil fuel generates what we call greenhouse gas emissions. And this greenhouse gas will go and act like a blanket and wrap around the earth, trapping the heat of the sun. So don't forget, the earth, up there is outer space. So that means there's opportunity of venting out this heat at some point, because it's a space. There's nothing there. That's why they call it outer space, where the rockets go and all this. But this greenhouse gas unemitted will wrap itself around the earth and form a real fence of gas that will not let the sun, the heat that the sun has trapped into the earth, to emit out, to radiate out. So this now will raise the temperatures of the earth, or temperature on earth. And the example of greenhouse gas, like I mentioned the other time I was doing introduction, that our adversity include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxygen, which some call nitrogen oxide, nitrous oxide, which some call nitrogen oxide, water vapor. So now, if you cast your mind back as an engineer in some of the jobs you have done before, you'll be able to understand that somehow you and I, at some point, no matter how small, had contributed to this greenhouse emission we're talking about. You know, based on our design, our things we do, but we'll get there. This comes from using gasoline for driving a car, or using coal for heating a building. Don't forget Germany, because Russia is trying to, or rather Russia reduced or stopped supply of crude oil to them and gas for heating up their houses. Now they have to go and of course, and reduce, and which they used to drive their power generating houses too. So they have gone back, I think France and Germany, they've gone back to open up the generating powerhouse stations that were using coal, which they had closed long time ago when this climate change conference took place in Germany, Japan. So they've gone back to open some of them back now to catch up with the electricity demand. So what that means is that the greenhouse will increase right now. So when you burn your bush, you want to make farm and you set fire on your bush, whether in Nigeria or ordinary bush burning or bush fire, the one that normally happen in Australia virtually every day, California virtually every year. Those things is the problem. They release carbon dioxide into the air. Then another one is the landfill. Don't forget, when you collect all these garbages we collect every day, we dump them into this mudslide or holes, whether artificially made ditches or slides made by flood or whatever. So those landfills, which we fill with garbage, they are a major source of methane emission. That's sort of methane emission. So it's also greenhouse emittable gas. Energy production or industry, transport, building, agriculture, industries, and land use are among the main emitters of this greenhouse. The Earth, this Earth that you and I are living today, right now, has increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius. And from what it used to be. And they believe that this temperature now, that is 1.1 now, higher than what it was, that it will rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius in the next decade. Some are even predicting 2. Now, as an engineer, you don't need to be told already that your system, that the system you design is temperature dependent too. Because when you design a system, maybe you use a material that needed to be alloyed to withstand some certain temperature. You know what happens if you had designed to, let's say, 80 degrees, and then it goes up to like say 82 or 85 or 90 degrees, intuitively. And it's not a making of you or a making of it, just when you took your ambient temperature that you used to design, and then what it is now. So many things, that's why many things that was made in some time past, some of them are failing now, especially those ones that don't have good safety factor, because the temperature of the earth has increased. That's why you're beginning to see drought here and there, and then and many other things going on. So now engineers and scientists contribute greatly to green. I've said it before. So when you're making designs now, you are no more worried about the variables like, the mass, the load, the stretch, those are just, it's not like before, you don't really worry about some of them, that some of the systems that's going to be used on the normal room temperature ambience. So now you have to be sure the temperature you're designing, because you don't know what the nature has. Even this tool they're talking about in the next 10 years, it's only an estimate. You don't know whether before that time it may have increased to only God know what it's going to be. So temperature is a factor now in the design. Now let's go to next slide. Effects of this. So climate change intensifies, the water cycle. That's the reason why we have more intense rains right now, more storms. Storms that are, if you watch sometimes, you check, if you're good at checking your weather forecast in the morning before you go out, sometimes you see something happen in between. Rain will just come, or scorched sun will just come when they say there's no. It's because the climate change is making the water cycle behave funny. So it's now becoming, you need more than what you used to apply before to get accurate weather forecasts. Because these intense rains, and it comes with flooding, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding all over the earth, and it's causing drought too. So glaciers are melting at a faster rate. And of course, the entropy is frightening, because if you watch those poles, those ice blocks in the poles, you see the rate at which they are melting. It's also affecting the stability of the earth. I don't know whether that is what the Bible was talking about, that the earth will crush, will fall and scatter. I don't know, because the scientists have said that certain degrees, if it tilts more than certain degrees, the earth cannot be able to, the centripetal force holding the earth may not be able to keep it standing. So you see, that means if we're not careful, we may be getting to a disastrous condition if we don't act fast or to deal with climate change situations. It affects our rainfall pattern. That's why you saw that there was rain last week. Conventionally rain start here from May, maybe a little bit of late of April. But you can see now January rain falls. So this is how it is all over the world. They have drought in some part of Australia right now. They have all manner of things. Some areas that don't used to have snow started having snow. Some areas that used to have snow now have terrible sun. Things like that. So it affects the rainfall pattern. High altitude now started having precipitation, while decreasing in subtropics. You see, where there used to be, the higher you go, the cooler it is. So it's much easier to coalesce vapors and it fall like this. But now, because of temperature variations, water precipitates at some point, and wherever the temperature of the body is anyway, while decreasing in the subtropics. You see, and the monsoon precipitation changes are expected in many regions. Coastal areas will see continued sea level rise throughout the 21st century because of climate change. Those in VI, you and I, in VI and Lake axis, we have a message here. That is, we have a concern. Threat of coastal flooding in low-lying areas is true. An extreme sea level situation that used to happen every 100 years may start happening yearly. Tidal estimation and tidal forecast. There are things because of the cycle of activities of the earth, because the earth moves around. So there are certain things that happen at certain intervals, certain porosity. Especially, there's a level of flood that comes once in 100 years. Now, what you are saying here, that you may start the one that happened start seeing the one that happened in 50 years. It may start happening every year. The one that happened in 100 years will start happening in 5 years. For those living in the cities, there may be an associated heat. Already, many of you are complaining, it's too hot inside the home. Oh, if you don't have a condition, it now look like you are using you're generating heat from an oven and just spreading it upon yourself. Why? Because there are more population in the urban cities, and then people will breathe in and out, and all manner of activities that generate heat. So coupled with the one climate change will bring. So that is the problem. So the impact on different sectors, because somebody may say, what's my business with all this one? I have a condition in my house. So what's the point? Yeah, but the point here is that Or you may say, well, where I am, flood cannot get there. It doesn't concern me. I'm not a farmer, so I don't need the rain and all this. But you see, let's look at it critically. When there's drought, it will injure agriculture. And then human beings will go hungry. Because even if you don't farm, you will buy food. And when less people are buying food, when less people are producing and more are buying, there will be scarcity, there will be scarcity, there will be some quality and all manner of things go with it. And then when the human beings go hungry, they fall sick. And when they fall sick, some may even die. Now let's look at flooding. Flooding can cause disease, and pandemics, which can affect our health and can also lead to death. Now, we just talked about these things, bringing health challenges. Now, health challenges can affect productivity. So when we talk about health, somebody may say, well, I mean, it's not my portion to that. But wait a minute. Do you have a factory? Do you have a business? Even if you don't have, are you working somewhere? If you do, then you have cause to worry, because when people working there, living in some places where they have to share rooms, or where the temperature, it doesn't have a condition and so on, their health will be affected. And when their health affected, their productivity in the workplace will go down. And when their productivity go down, and when we're talking about so many productivity centers. When you go down, it means that your manufacturing will come low. The production of products and services will come low. And when production of services and products come low, unemployment will come in. And when unemployment comes in, what will happen next? Crime. You have more armed robbers. You begin to have more kidnappers, more bandits, more unknown gunmen, and all that will come in. And then for the ladies, you begin to see prostitution as you have not seen it before. So the rise in crime and social vices can even overthrow governments. You have seen many countries where they say, no, they go to the street, no, or even do coup. This government don't know what they're doing. And there are crime all over the place. There are social vices all over the place. It's because productivity has gone low. And what caused productivity going low, that made the factory production come low, factories close down, is because people started falling sick. You see? So now, if this happens, let's look at solutions. What can we do as engineers so that we can have a resilient development that is sustainable? Because there's no point just moving and developing and developing. You don't care. You can't sustain them, because what's the point that all the roads in Nigeria are bad, but everybody died because of fossil fuel and climate change problem? I mean, greenhouse emission, dangerous gases we inhale, and all that. It doesn't make sense. But if you watch, you see it's happening in some part of the world, in Europe especially. The death rates are higher than the birth rates. I don't want the conditions, because many of you know them. Where now they go to beg people to born, please. They give you money if you're born in those places. Why? Because there are so many factors. One minute. Are you really sure? Don't forget those companies, those places they have developed so much they did the first industrial revolution, this second industrial revolution, the third one, and they've been going into the fourth. So many kind of factories had come and gone. It is now who are beginning to check what does my factory produce. So those days, there was no safety awareness. There was no environmental awareness. So some of those things had damaged many things. So that's what we're talking about here. So we don't want that to happen to our society. What do we do so that we slow it down or stop? Number one, you as an engineer should stop relying on fossil fuels. All those coal, as much as possible, run away from it. All those cars and all trains, and as much as possible, run away from the type that use fossil fuel. Number two, Scientists should design at greater energy efficiency. Because if you design to have so much losses of energy at low, which is low energy efficiency, it means that you need so much output. No, you need so much engine runs to achieve what you would have achieved in 10 minutes. You may probably need to achieve it in 20 minutes, or you are wasting the energy. And for energy you waste, or maybe you design, you needed one single, let's say 1 joule of energy, and you're producing 2 joules, and you don't need it. Of course, for any production means that you have added some inputs. That's what it means. So that means you have used more fossil fuel. So the rest, where would those two, the ones that they used to produce extra one will go? It will still go to the atmosphere where the other ones are gone. So, but if you design to, if you maximize your energy efficiency, you will just use what you need and produce what you need, and then you cause harm to the world only as much as is needed. Then we need to start using more of renewable energies in our houses, in our cars, in our factories. Solar energy, tidal, biomass, and all kinds of other renewable energies. We need to bring them back in the world. So when you go to design a system, see if there's any way you can adopt solar or other means of it for it. When I went for technical visit at Songhai Farms, I don't know some of you that are going with us, Songhai Farms at Port Novo in Benin Republic. The electricity they used that place was from biomass. From the toilet they use there, they go to the toilet, then they leave the toilet soak away to stay for too long. I mean, septic tank to stay too long. Sometimes with some other catalysts they put in there, to generate methane. That's what they use to cook in that place. That's what they use to generate electricity, drive their generator. That's what they used to do. Many things they do there, even warming their chicken farms and all that. So these are all possible. Then 2, let's structure let's build a structure of sustainable transportation system, like using electric cars, using mass transport system like train, long buses that will move many people at the same time to reduce people driving in the country or city at the same time. Yeah. Why does government spend money to put buses in all those trains and all those things? Because they have the money. So, we even have to go and borrow to do that. Why do you think we do? Why do you think it's considered very important that we have to do that? Yes, we have to do that because you are removing people that would have driven on the road. You are removing many of them and putting them inside one single container called a train or bus, like BRT. So you bring, like, I don't know how many that BRT takes, but these people are people that would, I remember sometimes I've gone to Lagos Island. When I remember the traffic, remember where to park motor, remember all the stress and all these things. I would just get to Ajah. I have a friend who has an office around there. I would normally park my car there, enter BRT, they have a card, and I will give them card and I'll go there. Now, I would have driven down to Lagos Island if I didn't enter BRT. So we need to begin to think in that direction so that we reduce people being on the road by building train. Thank God for Lagos State government. So that's it. The other one is building sustainable, building structures. In this case, I remember there was, we went for those seminar, what they call it, seminar or workshop on Nigerian building code. Lagos State called us. That's why I see the government is making an effort to make engineers apply the building codes for our designs, so that we will design something that, 1, will not waste energy, 2, that will not that it will be safe for human habitation. Apart from that, first, the 3, to be able to use if possible, alternative energies, alternative systems that will not harm the environment. And then another one is our forestry management. We need to develop a sustainable agricultural and forestry management. Every other place in the world, you need permission of the county. I'm talking of county. You need the permission of the county to cut one single tree. If there's a tree that bend on the street, you don't even have right. In front of your house, you don't have right to cut it. You have to call them. They will come and cut it. And then make sure they plant another one. So we need to begin to realize that deforestation is a problem. Then worst about it is burning the bush. But here, people, it's not even like California or Australia, where mistakenly one idiot will smoke cigarette and drop the buff there and the bomb. This one, people will just say, well, I'm clearing my bush. Boom, we put matches there. And God has been faithful. We've not been having so much of human fatality due to that. So our agriculture should also sustain that. Apart from using the ground mowing system rather than burning it up, we can use agriculture to take care of that carbon, and potassium, which they claim is what they gain when they burn this and spread the ashes. Use a normal manure system or compost manure. Then we need to outlaw felling trees. We don't just cut tree where we have. I'm personally, anybody that has any of you that has come to my house with me, I love nature so much. I have so many trees in my compound in Lagos here. So many flowers. And in my village, I have about 30 trees in my compound and environment. So, apart from the fruit it gives me a sense of being close to nature. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Anywhere you are, put the tree. If you don't want to put tree, put, like some will say, if you're not a landlord, you don't plant tree. Put it inside a cup. Put it inside flower vase. Make a flower there. Put something. Let a living grass or tree live around you, so that you can exchange carbon dioxide. Because if those trees are there, it will be absorbing carbon dioxide, which is part of the greenhouse emission. So some people may ask you, how does a tree help in emission? Yeah, it absorbs carbon dioxide and give you oxygen. And the oxygen is giving you is a clean one. So engineers, when you're designing building or environment or layout or factories or whatever, please remember to always take care of the trees. Take care of the trees. Make sure there are enough trees in the compound where you're designing. If you refuse, explain to him about the climate that is damaging the world. And everybody will one day go down if we don't slow down on this. So next is conserving natures and keep the ecosystem, close to as nature made it. We have altered the ecosystem so bad. We kill animals that go to be in the bush. Kill this one, say this one is this one, this snake did this one, that one do that one. We just kill them, say we chop bushmeat. Some of us here listening, some of us even go to every weekend to buy bushmeat. Yes, they're sweet, but again, those animals, they were created to be eating something, and those things that eating are created to be eating another thing, and those things that the other one is created to be, ecosystem. When they die, they go back, make manure, then this thing eat it and come back, plant it and come. So if you terminate anyone at some point, if you terminate this system of from human or animal, from animal to to dung or carcass, and then carcass to trees, and trees to human beings, and tree feed human beings, feed animal, things like that. Once you terminate at some point, that's the problem. So you also need to reduce the rate at which you destroy places in the name of building houses or building factories. You just get one bush and clear all of them, or you say, well, every animal here, kill all of them, because they are disturbing us here and there, all things. You need to be careful. Then where you replace forests and with buildings, That's where the problem is. You see? Then the engineers and scientists constantly designing systems and products that does not generate greenhouse gases is the key. Engineers are people who are trained to design systems and products and services. Where services, anybody can do that, but products and so when next you go to your design room, remember this thing I'm designing, is it generating greenhouse gases? Is it going to get greenhouse emissions? If the answer is yes, find alternatives, gentlemen. The ones that are there already, let there be innovations. You know, this thing talked about innovation. You know, let's innovate how to begin to change the ones that are there already, ravaging our systems, like our refrigerant system. You can't believe it. Some people are still using the old refrigerants we're using to fill their cooling systems. You see, these are things we engineers need to say, no, you can't do that. You know, it does not matter whether the owner of the factory, owner of the plant is the richest man in Africa. No, that's why you're trained. That's why you're an engineer. We need to stop them. And then we need to also, like, you know, all those cryogenic systems which I just mentioned, some of them, it's not only them, because there are other systems, like some disinfectants we are using. Some of them have agreed to change what they use, but some are still using the old chemicals for it that harm our systems. So then another part, which is the last one I want to mention, is you constantly seek industrial solutions to things that cause climate change. Ensure your factory, what your factory is producing, they don't harm the earth. So as you go back to your workplaces, as you go back to your houses, as you go back to your villages, as you go back to your homes, to your hamlets, educate them that they should not burn the bushes. Educate them that the factory should have a lot of trees. Educate them that this product, check what the product produces or what it's supposed to do. See whether it will harm whether it will generate greenhouse emissions. And then you let them know that, look, this cannot work. If they don't, take it to Ministry of Environment. They will do the rest. And at this point, I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Uche, for that insightful lecture. Thank you so much. So now we proceed to the question and answer session. If you have a question as regards the topic that was just shared, so please just raise up your hand so we can give you the opportunity to ask a question.
I think if Ifeanyi has
okay. Engineer Ifeanyi, can you please unmute your mic and ask a question?
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Engineer Uche, for that very intensive lecture on the climate change and the effect of our industrial and individual activities on the general environment. But I want to ask a question. It comes from a place of much thought on the solutions that have been preferred for the combating of climate change on a global scale. So I want to know the alternative, like you said, about the solar system, solar power in their house, and some of these other innovations that you've had that are much trendy in combating the challenges of the climate change. The issue or the question I have, how do you dispose of these new innovations now without harming the planet? Because to me, it seems like we might solve one while creating another problem. Like if you check the process it takes to produce the batteries we use for our solar system in the house and the impact it has on the environment. And then you argue it with the impact of the better technology in oil and gas drilling and exploration, the technologies in those things tend to produce a net, that's an argument anyway, it tend to have a less adverse effect on the environment. If you check all the elements that we use in the battery, and after the exploitation from the earth and the processing that it undergoes, and then after our use in the house, it has to be recycled or disposed. The impact, the net impact of it, I'm just asking, which one do we trade off? Which is lesser evil? That's basically what I'm trying to figure here. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the question. Well, your question is very relevant. Very relevant. Yeah. Yes. The question is, I mean, the answer is this: if you start today to stop something by destroying it, for example, even if, but you know that we have what some of these dangerous things, we have controlled destruction. You know, some of them are put in a furnace that is controlled, and then you can use some chemicals to convert those carbon dioxide to some kind of other chemicals that are not harmful. You know, they are controlled destruction of some of those things. If you go to real recycling places. So, but let's even leave that. When you stop producing that today, you have saved from today upwards what that old system would have been generating. You have saved the earth of that particular devastation. So you know, Igbo man will say, that is today. Today is still okay. You may be late tomorrow, because if you leave it tomorrow, you are releasing more gas from that system. So, but if you junk it today, for example, let's say, for example, refrigerants, preferably in a controlled destruction process. Normally, for example, in the oil industry, when we put acid in the water, when we pump acid into the well, when we flow it back using, you know, nitrogen, when we get it back, we normally add what? Caustic, you know, soda inside it to alkalize it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just giving you an example of a controlled destruction of an element. So that can be done in anything. Doesn't matter what that thing is. There's always a chemical that may, except whereby what it generates is an inert gas that doesn't react with anything. But if we're talking of any gas, there's something it can be turned to. That is why even the nuclear waste they bring, they send it to people, the experts that know how to dispose of it. So, you know, but the major thing I want to say is that stop it today. You have saved from tomorrow upwards. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Engineer Uche. I think Engineer John, you have a question. Please unmute your mic and ask.
Okay, just to add to what Dr. Uche just said now, the meaning of sustainability is solving today's problem without sacrificing tomorrow. You know, whatever the problem is, what we are trying to do today is to resolve the problem, and also for our actions of resolving it, not to create more problems tomorrow. In the past, if you want to build house, like he said during his he just cut all the trees and walk away. Nobody cared. But today, we are caring. If you cut one tree today because it's in the way of where you're going to build your house, you are advised to try and plant another one somewhere else. This is sustainability. Solving your problem today, but not sacrificing the tomorrow. Then coming to why I raised my hand is during your presentation, Doctor, you said something about France and one other country going back to coal. You know, using coal to generate electricity or generate power or for something. You know, this Western countries are the one preaching so much about climate change. But if they're reverting back to the problem, I don't know what they expect. Industrialization is what caused our problem today. People did things the way they want, the way they liked. And honestly, Africa is not really that industrialized today. So the problem is not really from Africa, but all hands on deck. We're trying to solve a problem, because even if A is causing the problem, it's going to affect from A to Z. So everybody is trying to solve the problem. But the thing is that if the person that caused it is actually trying to revert to creating it, is a bit worrisome. This green energy and green building, they are trying to sell it to us. Smart cities, they're trying to sell it to Africa. But honestly, we cannot stand one place while you're living your life the way you like. So my own is, because you read this thing somewhere and you presented it to us, maybe wherever it was, maybe if it's in a journal, they need to be questioned. What is going on? Thank you.
Okay, Joan, thank you for your clarity. The whole world is actually shouting at these European nations right now as we speak. It's on the news. It's everywhere in the news.
Okay.
They went to they are having problem with this Russia-Ukraine war. So Russia, knowing that they are supporting Ukraine, tampered with their supplies. So
gas supply,
now,
yes.
Yeah. So they started having low production of power. And they have come a long way. They can't go back to Africa level of power sharing and all those things. So they managed to switch off some things that are not required so as to reduce cost of energy. One of them is their farmyards, farmhouses. But then it has started biting so bad. They now said they were going to open back, I think Germany started it, they're going to open back their fossil fuel generators. So United Nations had been on them, and UNIDO has been on them too. So many people are talking, but whether they will hear is what I don't know now. Like you rightly said, they contribute 80% of the problem we're facing in the world today in terms of climate change. Remember that there was a time the South Africa, Thabo Mbeki made that comment. They said it was anti-waste. So that is the major issue. The emission from USA and China alone is enough. is enough to cause damage that we're talking about, talk less of other ones. So you're right. We need to do something. We need to shout at them. The shouting is going on, but will they obey? That's another story, because they are members of NATO. Nobody will go there and bomb them. I say because you don't do what we ask you to do, you go there and bomb them. So nobody will do that. So it's only if it's a poor African nation now that is doing one thing now, then all of them will descend on us, because they know we don't have such powers to congregate and assemble equipment to retaliate when they bomb us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Dr.
Thank you,
Uche
sir.
Obiajulu. Thank you very much. Thank you for this very insightful session.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your very deep knowledge of the topic at hand. We will always appreciate the knowledge you have and how it will benefit us moving forward as practicing engineers. To help us present this certificate of appreciation, please permit me to call on one of our fellows in the house, Engineer Joan Mweke, please help us appreciate Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulu.
Thank you, my chairman. On behalf of the chairman, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Victoria Rampant, and all members of Victoria Rampant, we wish to say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Uche Obiajulu, FMSC, for the knowledge you shared with us today that we're celebrating our World Engineering Day. This is a place of manifestation, and this is for sharing valuable knowledge on engineering innovation for a more resilient world. The topic we'll learn about today is climate change. I believe many of us and everybody on call got something out of what he said, So we thank you so much, Dr. Uche, and we hope that next time when you are called upon, you will answer us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tuan, FNSC. Thank you so much, and I thank you, Chairman. I thank the ESCO and members of the branch for giving me this certificate. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Doctor. So back to you.
All right, so we'll be inviting Engineer Miriam Egbe, which is the Quality Assurance and Quality Control Electrical Engineer. She'll be giving us the second public lecture, and then we invite Engineer Francis to please read the profile of our next speaker before she takes us on the public lecture. Engineer Francis.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Engineer Bryce. Okay, so Engineer Marian Hegbe has a background in electrical engineering with Bachelor's of Science degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from the University of Lagos. She began a career with an M&E consulting firm, then proceeded to an M&E contracting company. She's presently with a construction company as a QA/QC electrical engineer. She's a Korean registered engineer, a corporate member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, a member of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical Engineers, and a member of Association of the Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APOEN.
Thank you very much, Engineer Francis. So over to you, Engineer Miriam. So you can proceed to sharing your screen and take us on the lecture.
And that it is an engineering week. So we are supposed to be celebrating, and then our theme for this week is engineering innovation for a more resilient world. And then I was given opportunity to share this topic, why more ladies should take up engineering. Why more ladies should take up engineering. And then I tried to make some introduction on today being an engineering day, World Engineering Day, celebrated worldwide by engineers, and also International Women's Week is equally celebrated within this period as well. So, which make my topic much more interesting, being that we are celebrating International Women's Week, and also the World Engineering Week or Day as well. So why more ladies should take up engineering. So we are actually, for everything that we are discussing in this period, I think since 2020, is all about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals to transform our world, which are these as listed. I hope and I believe you can see them, but I am here to talk about the not just the gender equality. Gender equality, achieve gender equality and empower women and girls. So it's about the empowering women and girls that I really want to talk about, on how women and girls should actually find interest in engineering, why we take up engineering. In this my slide, I must apologize. Okay, I did not say, although I had enough time, yes, but I did not prepare a lot. So please just take it within the little time that I want to spend with you as part of the celebration. So, and then the team, which includes building to build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and the sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. So that means on the sustainable development goal. So I'm picking the number 5 because this 17 actually cover almost everything that we should be doing, if you ask me, on the planet Earth. So everyone should actually pick 1 or 2 out of these and then follow up to ensure they bring it to pass. So right now, for my topic for this evening, I have number 5, and then numbers 9 seems to be closer to the theme of the year. So, and this is a symbol to represent them. Resilience, as mentioned on the topic, on the theme, simply means being able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions due to rigorous school exercise. These engineers naturally overcome and surpass every situation the world throws at them, and that is just the truth. That is the very truth. The celebration of World Engineering Day is also about promoting engineering as a career and how it is an opportunity to change the world for the better. So these are the engineering aspects that we can actually, or we as engineers are actually into the field that we specialize on, especially the ladies can equally as well specialize on. Aerospace engineering, I've seen ladies and pilots, seen them automotive. We have our own in Apwen who is into automotive, biomedical, of course, chemical engineering. There are a whole lot of women there, civil engineering, many of them, computer engineering, electrical, which I am there, and many ladies are equally there. Engineering management, which we are very good at. Industrial engineering, of course. Materials engineering, mechanical engineering, nuclear engineering, robotic, safety, system engineering. Engineers design, build, and maintain various complex systems and structures from buildings to software. While there are many engineering professions, there is one consistent engineering mindset to innovate. And this innovation is actually where women can actually ordinarily, naturally fit into. Many organizations actually in this day and age need people to innovate, to think for them, analyze situations, and then bring about solutions to it. And that is where women fall to. So women actually have a whole lot of opportunity in engineering, a whole lot, never a dull moment with engineering in an engineering field. There's never a dull moment. In all these aspects mentioned above, it keeps one busy. But of course, it should not just only be about being busy, but making money to sustain oneself, definitely. So to do so, they must think increasingly, to innovate, must think increasingly cross-disciplinary way, finding combination patterns and intersections between previously disparate conceptual realms. Engineers are the architects of the world, and that is very true, very, very true, 100% true. Now, when you talk about even the computer sciences engineers that are actually into computer science as well, technology and all of that, data analysis, data scientists, all of that, engineers are the champions. Many of the people, most of my classmates, I am in the construction aspect. Of course, I'm still finding my way into this, but many of my classmates are into, they are the ones championing this networking, data analysis and all of that. So engineers can, easily find their way, maneuver and find their way and do exceedingly great in any aspect of engineering. And that is, why I'm even encouraging one of my daughters. Okay, I'm encouraging my daughter to equally go into engineering, and especially electrical engineering is actually very, very interesting. There's never a dull moment. Why stereotypes paint a picture of engineering as an antisocial hard science that is primarily conducted behind a computer? Engineers are in fact scientists and artists. Yeah, engineers are actually equally artists. You don't need to say because you are a professional, you should just stay back, not making yourself happy. You can do a whole lot of things with the engineering thing that you are doing. And then women, can actually have fun with engineering in any aspect of it. There's fun in all of it. So engineers are in fact the scientists and artists who created the Palm Island in Dubai and the Mila Viaduct in France. An engineer is simply creative. Yeah, that is very true. And that is exactly where lady engineers falls into. In the creativity, in the conceptualization, that is where lady engineer, because you can actually sit down to get this whole thing done. So I do not understand where that belief of the fact that engineering is for men. Who said that? Engineering, except you want to say maybe technologists or rather technicians. Yes, technicians, the technical aspect of the work, the handwork of it, yes, could be more of male work because of their physique and all of that, yes. But the main engineering, the main core course, the science aspect of it, is actually ladies' work. Again, why more ladies should take up engineering as a career? Because it is first and foremost interesting. Yes, very, very interesting. There's, as I said earlier, never a dull moment with engineering, never a dull moment. Sometimes I wonder how people make out time to do many other, other things that are not productive. I just wonder. I will not have enough time for myself. Why would you have enough time to, indulge in anything that is unproductive? So engineering for ladies is actually very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And if I may add, sexy somehow. Yes, because the more you engage your mind, it's what you are doing, the more you are happy to live life, live it long enough, and then be happy to contribute to humanity. That is what engineering is all about, So a lady engineer should look forward to a job. Okay, what lady engineer should look forward to when they take up engineering? They should look forward to job security. Yes, there's job security in most engineering work, whether you get the job from organization or you create the job by yourself, there's always opportunity in engineering, especially when a lady takes it up. Lucrative salaries, of course, definitely. Engineers are one of the highest paid, workers in the world, and we need to actually, introduce standards. I think that's where our NSC needs to work for us. All our cooperative bodies need to, come on board, because they need us. They actually need us. This is not about whether who is taking up our job. Nobody's taking up our job. Technicians can take up our job, just as a engineer, our FNS engineers just said, Joanne, that when she came on board, the guy was there, and eventually she took over. That is just it. That is just it. So there's no way technician can take our job away from us. So we should remain as high as we are, and our bodies, cooperative bodies should come in and help us with that aspect, and say this is what we should receive. Look into the organization or look into what they are doing and say, okay, this is it, and stamp it, and that is all. Some organization or some bodies are actually, making way for their people, based on that, like surveying and all of that. They have a standard, so they should make that standard for us, especially for ladies engineers, career satisfaction, yes, as I said earlier, in designing, yes. So designing structures, systems, products to make life easier for humans and healthier for the planet. So I don't know what we are living for if you are not thinking on how to make life easier for humanity. I don't know what else gives you joy, but that is one of the things that gives me joy, and I'm saying that is one of the things that should give every lady engineer joy, seeing that they are contributing positively to humanity. Engineers combine rigorous scientific knowledge with elegant creativity to change society and address global problems, yes, often in previously unthought of ways, yes, in many ways that we can't even think of, imagine a whole lot. So in my slide, I've not just picked out any particular message, so to say, for the ladies, because everything that a guy can do, a male engineer can do, is the same thing that a female engineer can equally do. I try to check to see what I'm into construction. I tried in all of my years of being into construction, I tried to see what's exactly the difference between the things that the male engineers do and the things that the female engineers do. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, except for the fact, okay, even the male engineer that may want to climb maybe like a high-rise building, okay, because they are male, they can easily climb and go to the slab, check the slabs and all that. Maybe a female engineer might be finding difficult and they could be fearful to climb, to go and check to see. But I think that is not supposed to be, okay, maybe it's supposed to be, but at least, okay, female engineers have their own, and they have their limits, so to say, when it comes to that one. But even the male engineer may not actually be the one, say maybe consultants, yes, to go check. I think the technologies are playing that role in between the technicians and the engineers. The technologies are equally the ones supposed to supervise to ensure that the technicians deliver quality. Anyway, I'm not trying to rub shoulder with the male engineers. Okay, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to introduce that, no. But I'm just trying to say that we equally play almost as much of the role that the male engineers are playing. So I do not separate anything, saying this is what male can do or this is what female can do. Okay, let me continue. It explores the expansive world of engineering, from microchips to aircraft, yeah, especially the microchips, what anyone can easily, stay in the office lab and get done. Prosthetics to nuclear reactors, cell phones to life-saving drugs. So that's what female engineers can actually stay and do. Okay, international women still, because I'm talking about the ladies engineer, so I have to include my women so that we're celebrating this at this point. So I need to keep reminding us that it's still our National Women's Day and National Women's Week this week. So, and we are trying to celebrate women by eradicating gender bias and accept us as equal halves in the society. You know, I don't even understand why in the first place there should even be any bias, you know, in the first place. I don't know. I think our parents need to do better by not introducing any biasness in the mind of their children. They should just understand and celebrate, okay, this is a male, this is female, and that's so, and that is full stop and nothing else. Let's not try to bring in any reason why this person cannot do this person can do that. Some men can actually, I mean, some women can actually do a whole lot that men can do as well, depending on their strength, you know, same as men too. There are some things that some men cannot equally do, even though their physique is equally there, you know. So we are the same thing, and let's us accept each other and work together. Yes. So 6 important reasons why women should study engineering. So I first mentioned that engineering is an interesting career to venture into. Yes, that is very, very true. Never a dull moment. Yes. According to WISE, I will let you know the meaning of WISE in my next slide. The number of women in engineering has almost doubled in the last decade. Yeah, that is very true. I think people are now encouraging their more female to study engineering. The realm of engineering is constantly evolving, definitely, as well as becoming increasingly important in our world. There are so many great reasons for women to be involved in this exciting. Did they just mention exciting? Did I just mention exciting? Yes, of course, very, very exciting and diverse field of study. It is exciting, actually, with an array of thriving career opportunities available, just as I mentioned above, up there. We ran up 5, okay, I have 6 here, of the top reasons why women should study engineering. Yes, so the WISE campaign simply means women into science, engineering, and construction. It encourages women and girls to value and pursue science, technology, engineering, and math or construction-related disciplines in school or college and move on into related careers and progress. Its mission statement aims to facilitate understanding of these disciplines among women and girls and the opportunities which they present at a professional level. Okay, the 6 important reasons why women should take up engineering. To be part of technological change in our present world, yet we can all agree that it's no longer a business as usual. Technology have taken over everywhere, all over the world. So it is actually a very good time for female engineers to key into these opportunities. Employers want female engineers. Yes, most employers, they actually want female engineers. Read what I have here. The workplace and the world thrives on diversity and balance. There's a big discrepancy between the amount men versus women in engineering profession. So as a minority, women are highly sought after and valued. We appreciate not only for your wonderful skill. We are appreciated not only for our wonderful skill, but for the insight that we bring to the profession. And that is very, very true. We most of the time bring in, you know, we are innovative in nature, naturally, as I said earlier. So that alone help an organization to, to move faster towards their vision. Yes, female engineers actually make a whole lot of difference in the world. Engineers use their problem-solving skills to confront many of the world's biggest concerns. So you will have the opportunity to create new technologies here, just like as in number one. So there's a whole, naturally women are problem-solving as well. So we bring in these skills, on board. Engineers are paid well. Yes, one of the reasons why we should equally tap into it and then benefits. Get to be creative, and then people have a chance to invent. Yes, invent, and we also innovate new technologies. Yes, we actually have plenty career opportunities under engineering. There's a whole lot, as I mentioned above. Moving on, I hope we are all hearing me. I hope I'm not spending so much time. Hello?
We're here. We're hearing you.
We are hearing you.
All right, thank you very much. So according to the study, young women who choose or persist in engineering, they usually demonstrate an interest and positive attitudes about engineering. Yes. This is a yes. All the female engineers I know, they have this fulfillment within them. I just hope their husband, our husbands are appreciating that, because some people would want to make it seem like, you're not supposed to have this so much confidence to be a woman, but engineering have given us that confidence. So we are okay to live life, to the fullest. So just bear with us, or is it bear with us? Accept us the way we are, that we are fulfilled. Just go get your own life and be fulfilled as well. Be happy, because we are happy people. Yes. Also, see value field of engineering. They believe that engineers work on solving important problems, and that becoming an engineer will allow them to help others and contribute to the society. Yes. One of the main reasons that we should, undertake this engineering, that we need to, contribute into other people's lives. Demonstrate engineering related self-efficacy. They feel confident, exactly what I was talking about in this number one. They feel confident that they have the skills and knowledge to do the work of engineers. Yes, that is very true. So we are confident, like where I'm presently right now, maybe initially when I came, maybe they thought in their mind, she cannot do the work. Hello, Olga, do you know where I've been? Of course, lo and behold, I'm doing very well. And well, I say they are fighting me. In fact, I'm still on the issue. But anyway, thank God for everything. So they always they feel confident. Yes, we feel confident. I'm actually confident, and many of our female engineers have that confidence in themselves as well, that they can surpass every situation that comes their way. And that is a very good contribution when you study engineering. Embrace a STEM identity. They embrace the idea that they are or will become engineers or STEM professionals. For example, believing that engineer is who I am. Yes, that is who we are, and we are happy. We are happy in it. I'm happy in it, and I want as many female engineers female girls around me to fully undertake it, because it gives them more confidence. Even if eventually they do not take it as a career, but going through it, is a plus. I know a whole lot of my classmates too that may not be in this career. They are not really doing something directly on it, but it helps them to be better people in whatever is it that in any other field that they have chosen. So if you ask me, it should actually be fundamental course for every girls. Yes, every girls, I repeat, for every girls, to add to them and to make them not to just become victim anyhow in the hands of, these other kind of people. Yes. Have a strong support network, friends, family, peers. Yes. Female engineers usually have strong support network. Upwell, thank you very much for that. Draw upon social and cultural capital. They get strength from personal or cultural experiences of struggle to overcome obstacles. That's true. Feel a sense of belonging. Yes. We don't only feel a sense of belonging in the community of engineers or engineering students. We ourselves, we felt a sense of belonging to ourselves. Most engineers have this self-confidence, which is very good to surpass, to overcome challenges of the world. You have to have your own self-confidence, believe in yourself, love yourself, and then of course you can easily equally mingle with others as well. STEM careers. I think this is related to what I've been speaking on all along. Let me just move. What are the three main objectives of SDG? So still on, because it's still all about the SDG, picking up one or two of those 17, of which I've picked one. Then the other two is a team. So this is just it for the SDG, which female engineers are equally, ensuring that we work to achieve it by the year 2030. Yes, that is the aim, to achieve those goals by the year 2030. So I would encourage every man, woman, corporate organization to do their own part by not discouraging any lady who is interested in engineering career, but rather see it as every other career. What matter is the interest. Yes, what matter is interest. Try to let them see the interest. Don't, not just this. Sometimes they might not have the interest, but make them see what they need to enjoy in it. I know definitely no matter how much we try, not everyone will still get it there, but we should, encourage them. We should encourage them. So it's not just a male, it's not only a male environment. No, let us equally come on board and make it standard. Yes, and make it standard so that it will not just be only one-sided shield. Let it be male, female, and then work together. Also, ladies should avail themselves for the engineering opportunities, as it is very interesting, and there is plenty money also, because we are needed for infrastructural development. Yes, this brings me to the number 9 of the SDG. Yes. So female engineers, technologists, and technicians are partaking. There are not much of female technicians because of the physical aspect of it, that it entails physical and all of that. So at least the engineer majorly is what we should partake on. In changing the world all of the time, they dream of creative practical solutions and work with other smart, inspiring people to invent, design, and create things that matter. Yes, invent, design, and create things that matter. The key to know is that engineering is basically the mind and effort that goes into making a new product. Say for example, a cell phone, of which ladies can easily participate on as well. Technology is the result of application of this effort. Yes, technology is the result of application of engineering. Technology is the result of application of engineering. Yes, ladies engineers are available to fit for both engineering and technology. Very true. So we should encourage ladies around us to go into engineering. There's so many. Sometimes when I hear some people say, engineering is male, what is it? What is it that is there? It's supposed to be more of design and thinking, creativity. That's what's supposed to actually be. I don't know, maybe it's Nigeria, Africa that have made it, limited it to as though is more of a, hard work or something like that. No, it's just like every other work. Don't compare engineering work, say sewing, the effort you use in sewing as well as a female, that manpower is not easy at all. So we should not see engineering as, except for the theoretical aspect of it, yes. Okay, but just like every other course of study, you have to study, you have to read too. Be it law. In law, they have lots of books to read, cases to study, a whole lot, So many other aspects of courses, philosophy, geography. Like when I was in school then, one of my classmates then that was studying geography, come and see plenty history books to read. So they're all the same. So there's nothing that is easy per se. So let's encourage, since we are here and the society have made it look like as though engineering is not a place ladies should be. Please, let's encourage our female around us that they should study engineering. It's a place for ladies as well.
Okay. Sorry, Engineer Miriam, please round up.
Yes, sir. I've actually gotten to the last slide. I didn't include in my slide why most ladies would not want to take up engineering, because I'm a typical, well, I say I'm a life example to even if I had to discourage, but in fact, being who I am on the other aspects of being a counselor and all of that, so I've taken it up to be positive actually. So I don't want to say them to be negative. So in conclusion, more ladies should take up engineering career in order to make our world a more balanced environment. That is very true. If you had noticed, engineers do not die early, especially ladies engineers. That is because we are always thinking on how to make the world a better place. Givers never lack, we always give. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. And I hope we go out there and encourage as many ladies as possible. Especially those ones that are filling their form for JAM and all of that, encourage them to enter engineering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Miriam, for that inspiring and insightful presentation. Thank you for making our time. So I kindly request that you stop sharing your screen so I can share my screen. So right now we move over to question and answer session. If you have a question based on this last presentation or a contribution or a suggestion, so please unmute your mic and ask your question. So it's a question and answer session. Please unmute your mic if you have a question or a contribution.
Okay, this is Engineer John Wake. Just to buttress what Engineer Marian said on encouragement. Normally, if we don't do anything without any pressure, without any suggestion or encouragement, we will never achieve gender equality. This is because girls and women, we like people, but boys and men, they like things. And for you to be an engineer, you must like things. So you see that you have to encourage someone to look at the second option of nature for that person to take up engineering. And so the voice of encouragement must be louder than the voice of nature inside all the girls in school, or the women that are already practicing and considering dropping out. Because it is not really in the nature of a woman to to be an engineer. It's our nature to like things, to like people. You know, we are more connected to people. But engineers, we are demanded to like things, to be connected to things. So, like Engineer Marian said, we have to make this encouragement. We have to talk to these girls, not because we want to take them away from who they are, but just to let them see another option of life in front of them. And another thing is this: a woman that is an engineer means that she can do what a woman can do, and she can do what a man can do. And this means that she's better than a man that is an engineer. It means that when we preach gender equality, we are not asking the men for acceptance. We are trying to show you the opportunity in front of you. If you know what you're going to gain by having a lady engineer by your side, by having a lady engineer in your team, you will use your two hands and your two legs to hold it. But the thing is that the way it's sometimes presented is like there is competition, but no, the competition is between human beings, and the problems facing human beings is never between male, female. So we are trying to get to the point where we'll see we've achieved this gender equality, so that all of us, both male and female, can hold hands together and fight the problem facing human beings. Thank you, Engineer Mariam. Very insightful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, my fairness.
Also, permit me to add to what Engineer Marian has said. I personally insisted that we are going to have this perspective in our public lecture. And one of the main reasons why I'm passionate about encouraging women and girls to take up engineering is the reality facing us. A diplomat said, captured it very well. He said, any country that does not encourage women and girls to take up engineering is like a person pursuing success in life with only one hand. If you try to pursue success in life with just one of your hands, you are already disabled somehow. But when you pursue success in life with both hands, left and right, you are at your full capacity. So any country that really wants to progress, any country that really wants to develop its infrastructure at the required pace that it needs to succeed, amongst the Committee of Nations, must hold the success mantle with left, both and right, both hands. And both hands means women contributing and men contributing. So it is, firstly, I want to commend the engineering family that we are already getting it right. But it is not enough. We have to continue also to preach this to the entire country, that you will need the women to come into engineering and by extension, nation building. That is the only way we can succeed as a nation. If we don't, we have already handicapped ourselves right from the beginning. So that is my contribution. Thank you, Engineer Mariam, for this presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Back to you, Engineer Bright.
All right. Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you, Engineer Mariam, for this very wonderful presentation. I think right now, Mr. Chairman, I think we'll go to the next agenda, which is the appreciation of our speakers. So, Mr. Chairman, I'll hand over to you now.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Bright. You've done very well as our host today. Engineer Marian, I'm very happy to see this certificate being presented to you. I hope you are ready for more presentations in NSC, not just in VI, but NSC at national body. to make this presentation, permit me to call on the engineer. Joan, please still assist us to make this presentation.
Thank you, my chairman. Anyway, we've all heard what she said. It's not just anywhere you are and any female you come in contact with, is just to give the person an insight of the added advantage to the world, and it will be if the person goes into STEM. You know, the world need them, and what the world will gain if they eventually accept the call. So we thank you, Miriam, for the knowledge you shared with us, and we really appreciate that. So today, on behalf of the chairman of Victoria branch and the entire member, we say thank you very much and present to you this certificate of appreciation for sharing the topic, why women should go into engineering with us. Thank you so much. And as chairman said, we hope next time you will answer us. Thank you.
Thank you, my chairman. Thank you, Engineer John. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer John, for that, for making that presentation on behalf of the branch. So the test facilitator is here, and thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Adeleke Adedoyin, the Executive Director of Green Growth Africa. Before we hand over to him, we kindly request that Engineer Francis, please read out the profile of our next speaker before he shares his presentation with us. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer. So Adedoyin Adeleke, PhD, is a Green Growth Africa's Executive Director at the Green Growth Research at the Interplay of Science, Policy and Place Science and Technology from Politecnico di Milano in Italy, and a multidisciplinary master's degree in energy studies with specialization in renewable energy. He was a country contributor for Nigeria to 4 consecutive editions of RAIN 21's Global Status Report on Renewable Energy from 2016 to 2019, and a country contributor to the 2nd edition of UNEP's One Citation Coalition Report on Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. Adedoyin is a research fellow within the UNESCO Chair in Energy for Sustainable Development at the Politecnico di Milano, Italy, and currently a member of the project consortium on EU funding long-term joint research and innovation partnership on renewable energy by the European Union and the African Union. Adedoyin is in the 2018 under 40 list of changemakers in the global solar energy industry, Renewable Energy World USA, and also the first Africans in environmental education, North American Association for Environmental Education in the US. He's among the top 100 shakers and movers in e-learning in Africa, as rated by Bob Little Press and Public Relations UK. Adedoyin is also a commitment maker at the President Bill Clinton's Global University Initiative in the US. He's a recipient of various scholarships, grants, and fellowship from diverse institutions and organizations across the globe. On the invitation of the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, one of the leaders who participated at the President Joe Biden's US Africa Leaders Summit. Over to you, Engineer Bright.
All right, thank you very much, Engineer Francis, for that generous introduction. Over to you, Engineer Dr. Adeleke Adedoyin. So I'll stop sharing my screen so you can make your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. And I want to sincerely appreciate the previous speaker and now specifically to the leadership of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Victoria Island branch, the leadership and all its members. And also, of course, this NSC in general and Korean for what they have been doing. Possibly I will mention one of them, which I'm particularly excited about, what they are doing for the engineering profession in our country. I want to also appreciate the Persuasive Innovation Committee, which I think are the ones behind this meeting. Thank you for extending the invitation to me and for the privilege. Now, I'll be focusing on engineering for the 21st century. And, you know, talking about 21st century, if you want to put it in 2 words, I would think within my limited experience and scope, I would think the 2 words that will come to me are challenges and opportunities. I'm happy that the previous speaker spoke about climate change. By the way, as the name of my organization, of our organization implies, Green Growth Africa, we do everything green. We try to provide development solutions to meet, green development solutions, that trying to think, you see that many of our development intervention solutions come and hinges on 2 pillars, social and economic pillar of development. Now, of course, I believe that it has been said that those focus on social and economic pillar and the neglect, the relative neglect of the environmental pillar is now erupting and causing various environmental challenges. So what we're trying to do is not just to increase the portfolio of environmental solutions, but to look for how we can develop integrated solutions. So we just integrate the green pillar, the environmental pillar, into the social and economic pillars that are already existing. Why did I mention this? Is to say that I would have really been excited to talk about a green topic. Fantastic. We can stay here for 2 hours if you have the time. But I deliberately wanted to speak when I saw the title. I saw that it's also aligned with the title very strongly, the word innovation. Now, the 21st century is linked to 2 things, challenges and opportunities. We have new challenges, things like climate change getting attention, things like plastic, things like biodiversity loss and wildlife loss and things like that. Now, so for anybody or any organization to be relevant in the 21st century, it must be somebody either providing opportunities or solving the challenges. And how do you solve challenges? Developing solutions or innovation. So I'll make my very brief intervention on 3 pillars as well. 1, governance. 2, education and research. And 3, industry. Before I finish, if I have the time, and please, when my time is up, I'll stop there. I'll try my best to be fast, but once my time is up, just let me know. I'll stop. I love to respect time, even if I don't finish, no problem. Before I finish, before I round up, I'll mention a couple of things, probably as a personal request of some of the things that have been concerns in my heart, such that if I were the NSC president today, things I would do for Nigeria and for the profession in Nigeria. Now, 1, governance. I won't say much about this. 2016, 2017 probably would have been the year I would have brought my first major international opportunities to Nigeria. Of course, I'm happy I've been able to bring a couple of them, but 2016 would have been the first. So there is a guy that was abroad. We met on a webinar or something, and he was coming with pre-grid technology. He didn't explain. Maybe they told him the bad impression that some people have about us. And he didn't explain his story, the old technology to me, but he was coming with 2 technologies, and I was going to be the contact in Nigeria. And he developed that technology basically for Nigeria. And by the time everything was perfect, the day he was going to present before the funding organization, he told me, "Are you doing? I'm already going." Okay, we're looking forward to a yes, and then things began to come up in Nigeria. Now, he came back, and I'll quote to you exactly what he said. He never left my brain up to today. He he said, when he finished his presentation, the organization told him, he didn't tell me the name of the organization. He said, we don't have any problem. We are comfortable with everything you have presented, the solution and everything. The only challenge we have is with the country you have chosen. We were frustrated out of their we were frustrated out of the country by their national offices. Now, by that, they mean the ministry and the agencies. By the way, I was also in Nigeria some 2 weeks ago trying to bring in an EU-funded support mechanism for Nigerian universities on green transition. I was with one of the federal agencies in charge of universities. I came and, I'm in Nigeria, I even managed to say, I will struggle to bring this thing. Meeting that was supposed to start at 1 p.m. started at past 8:03 to be precise. Why did I give all of these things? There is need. Many of the innovation and solutions that would have driven support mechanisms to facilitate engineering solutions, to facilitate industrialization, are there. The funders are there. The fundings are there. But the administrative bottlenecks we have. The first the first wind energy project in Nigeria, major wind energy project in Nigeria, is in Katsina State, 10 megawatts. It has started more than 10 years ago. Up till today, it's not functioning. Now, for us to be able to drive innovation and solutions in Nigeria, definitely something needs to be done about our governance structure. And why did I bring this? It's because I see that there is possibilities for us as engineers, now not as an individual, but as an institution, NSC and CORE, trying to bridge the gap. If we position ourselves as solutions hub on anything engineering, some of these international organizations that are coming, they understand, they already got the news about some of these bottlenecks with the government offices. Rather than they going to the government, they'll be happier to come to us and say, okay, please. And then we begin to bridge the gap on that side. Now, that's one side. I also wanted to speak about policy loophole, but I'll speak more about government. The reason why I will not speak much about government is that I'm assuming, just 1 second, while I try to ensure that things are bought. Now, I'm assuming that, we are engineers, we are not government people, but I just identify 1 or 2 things that we can do as an organization, as an institution, that could help to address some of the gaps within the governance structure in Nigeria to catalyze engineering opportunities. Now, there's something about that. When I get to conclusion, I'll speak more about that. Now I go to something that is within our scope: education and research. I heard this story many years ago. I don't know how true it is, but either true or not, it actually reflects our reality. I read somewhere the notes that says that the Nigerian education system was developed originally for 2 reasons. 1, to raise interpreters for white men and teachers for primary and secondary schools. Now, what that implies, and that's why you find that many of our theoretical curriculum and things like that go mostly theoretical. Now, before the colonial masters came, our grandfathers and great-grandfathers were already making cutlasses and hoes, even without not knowing anything about engineering. They were doing agriculture. But all of a sudden, white-collar things came, and then we dropped our engineering capacities and intellects to face white-collar jobs. And that is one of the things, because our education system has been more theoretical. I mentioned something to you. I did my bachelor's mechanical engineering in OAU, and the day I finished, I asked myself, what can you do? And I realized that the only thing I can do was what I learned in the gas plants during my internship, because it was more theoretical. Not their fault, but the system. Now, I see there is need for us to skill engineering education in Nigeria. Now, I'll tell you something. Engineer Otis was once an NSC president. We were in Germany together in 2017, attending the same event. And he made a statement there which I really found very profound. He said that outside Nigeria, after 3 years of going through a technical school or a university, the person is qualified to become an engineer. But in Nigeria, as you know, that's when you graduate. Is that a problem? Okay. Now, as you know, when you graduate, you have to wait for some years, get experience before you can be qualified to become an engineer. Now, he said the reason is that the guy from abroad, for instance, Europe, is market ready. Is engineering technology ready. But in Nigeria, because our education is still theoretical, we need to gain experience to have practical understanding. Can we begin to skill up so that our engineering education is more about skills? And I'll give you a very saddening example. I also have not forgotten, it's more than 10 years ago now, when one of the second largest gas plant in Nigeria, somewhere in Rivers State, I had an internship there. Now, we were working with, there is this multinational, please, I'd like you to get this example. It's really touched me a lot. Now, there is this multinational organization, possibly the richest company in the world, as they are called. And they took this major contract to maintain and the operation of gas turbines in this gas plant. So they sublet, mark the word sublet, they sublet a part of it to a Nigerian organization, maybe for local content or whatever. Now, so, the guys they brought are Italians. They are so bad in English, no education, to an extent that I wish you can see my hand right now. When the person, engineer, the expatriate, wants to tell you that he's going back to his country for recuperation, as they always do, you say, me, day after tomorrow, they cannot even make a simple English statement of I'm traveling day after tomorrow. That's how bad educational-wise they were. But they had skills. You know what? I was working with a Nigerian company that was doing that had the sublet contract. You know what we're doing? We're doing labor for them. And I saw right there a first-class graduate from Unilag, spanner, for somebody who never had OND or OND equivalent from Italy. What did he have? He went to a technical school. Technical education is literally almost, it's at a very low ebb, to be conservative. And that is where we are missing. Can we begin to look at how we can revitalize engineering? And I will still come to that point because that also links to the industry. And that's why, maybe when I get there, because I'll still talk about university when I get to the industry. Now, also talking about technical schools and technical education. For instance, as a body, as an organization, institution, we could support, small, go to technical schools and see some of them that are developing solutions. And then we probably do a competition and all that, and they get some money to start their own firms. In Nigeria, more than 60% of Nigerian businesses are SMEs. If we are able to scale up engineering, promote engineering profession, promote people that have engineering ideas and technology solutions, we will be doing a lot about industrialization. Now, about our institutions of learning, please, I'll just use university, for instance, just as a general name, but also cover polytechnics later on. Now, look at this. Now, currently, I've come to the industry because I'm trying to work with time. Now, the relationship between industry and university in Nigeria is more about philanthropy. I think that's the truth. And what do you find? When they have done the main thing they are doing and they want to do CSR, they come and build one classroom for us. They come and do this thing for us. And it's not their fault. That's good enough. That's good. But there is something better. This is how it's supposed to look. Look at the arrow. There are two arrowheads. Something should be flowing from the industry. Something should be flowing back from the university to the industry. Now, when you have this kind of relationship, rather than philanthropy, it becomes partnership between industry and university. I think if there are such in Nigeria, there are very few. I studied in 2 universities in Nigeria, and I know about university architecture in Nigeria. Now, but how do we know? Of course, I know everybody will say, of course, we know this. How do we convert from, transit from philanthropy concepts of relationship with industry to partnership? We need to understand, first of all, what is lacking. And what is it? Knowledge. I was in a university in Germany, 2016, and they were presenting the university to us, and they told us the budget of a university one university is about 500 million euro in 1 year. And they told us 50% of it comes from the industry. And I asked myself that day, the industry is not a philanthropist organization. So definitely the universities are doing some things that are relevant to the industry. Let me surprise you. You know, that same university, they had a gas turbine. They had a turbine. Now, I only saw turbine in my life in the gas plant where I worked, which is the second largest gas plant in Nigeria. Now, what is missing is what? Is knowledge. If the university is producing, generating knowledge that impact the industry will invest. So if we add, if the university is able to generate, and how do they generate knowledge? Industry relevant research. And I'll give some suggestions, not to look theoretical. And why did I bring it to NSC? I mean, why am I mentioning this here? Because I believe the NSC for me is a confluence of all stakeholders in the engineering profession, whether you work in academia, whether you work in government, whether you work in industry. So NSC stand at a very strong position, at a very strong advantage to make some of them, to see what can be done within those space. Now, what are the thoughts? I give some thoughts, for instance. Industry relevant research. I was thinking, and I mentioned this at one of the organizations, the federal government agency I came to visit in Nigeria about 2 weeks ago. You know, for instance, if we're able to get industries to bring some of their problem to us, they are not funding us, they are funding our research to do that. Okay, we have problems of some of these things and we give it to a university. If they need equipment, if they don't have it in their university, they can come and do it in our lab, say, as an industry. That's one. Two, I think that it will be good if curriculum review committee in our universities has as members from the industry. Many of our curriculum that the lecturers are still using to teach were written in 1970s. Many of their lesson notes have not been changed for the past 10 years. How do we now raise them, to raise students, raise capacity to address 21st century challenges if we're still working with old notes and old concepts? So I think there are several opportunities. There are several windows. We could call schools, rather than just having them to build classrooms for us, we can call them, use that same money to fund competitions, engineering competitions. I tell you, I don't know if around 2015, if we ever got to hear, because it went viral really, that two students from Obafemi University made a chicken defeathering machine that removed the feather of chicken. And I think somebody here can bear witness to this. A machine that removed feather of chicken in 6 seconds. 6 seconds, the second trial was 10 seconds. The videos are online and all that. And it went viral. That was the fastest of that model in the world. We were the one, myself and my colleague from final year project. No 1 naira dropped from anywhere. Who knows what that would have become today? It went viral all over Nigeria. So if we can call this industry to support these students that have these fantastic ideas, rather than just stopping at classrooms and then doing the philanthropy of 150,000 naira scholarship annually, we can better use some of those funds. Now, in conclusion, I think that NSC, and as a body of engineers, and which also has sisters organizations, subsidiary organizations, NIMEKI and the likes, is a confluence of all stakeholders from our engineering profession. Therefore, we are at a very strong advantage to be able to influence both governance, education and research, and industry. Because for engineering to progress and make its mark, it cannot be in silo. Let me also say this. Sorry if some of the facts examples I'm giving are sad notes, but it's just to push us a bit to see what can be done. All of us, really. I did my PhD using system dynamics. Now, system dynamics is a theory, concept that was built in America some decades ago. Now, I tell you, as of 1950s, they were already teaching system dynamics in secondary school in America. Up till today, I'm not sure there are 2 universities in Nigeria who has even PhD on system dynamics. I've not seen one. Now, how are we going to meet up with the world? And why did I bring dynamics here is that it's talking about integrated solution. We can, NSC stand at a position to be, for instance, and maybe I'll mention this shortly, really. Now, governance, one is that we need to strengthen public institutions and removing administrative bottlenecks. And that's, I understand we may not be able to influence the president and the minister, but if we stand to say, if we are developing engineering solution from outside and they know us, not about we telling the government build partnership with us unnecessarily, no. But if we are positioned and put our corporate image there, I know I'm an engineer, I'm outside Nigeria, and I find a company that is bringing solution. I say NSC, they said this on the social media the other time. Oh, they had a lecture about this. I will bring it to them. And then, being that they are on ground, they are able to relate to the government better. And we will not lose some of the solutions we are losing, because we are losing a lot. We are losing massively a lot. Now, education and research, skilling up engineering education, skilling up, a keyword there. Revitalizing technical education, driving technological solutions to boost local industrialization. This small does not end small. It can be, honestly speaking, I'm not talking about big funds, it can be 50,000 naira to a student. When I was doing my research of that chicken defending machine, I had no money. The only support we got from our supervisor was 2,000 naira gifts. Only that. You know, it can be just competition of 250,000 naira, then you give 50,000 naira. Some of these people, it's able to push them at least forward, and they can leverage on other opportunities in the future. And last point is industry transitioning. That's on industry. Transitioning from industry university philanthropy to industry university partnerships. And now the request. Let me first of all thank and sincerely appreciate Korean and NSC. I really, really want to commend you for what was done about the NYSC. It's been a concern to me. When we go to camp, we find medical students being posted to hospitals and things like that. And we are engineers, we are posted to anywhere, just like MV, Tom, Dick, and Harry. Now, it doesn't help our experience. It doesn't help our capacity. It doesn't also respect the profession. It doesn't respect the body that we belong to, NSC and Korean. So I was very excited. I was asking Nigeria when I got the news that there is a bill or act that's been promulgated, that now they must send engineering students to engineering. I know there are limited companies, but at least if the habit and say, okay, there is no more company, okay, can you go there? Okay, that's fine. So I really commend that effort, and I want to plead with us. I'm aware that I need to do that. The NSC and Korean are following up on that. Now, two things is this. For many, many years, it's not 5 years, I've been thinking about it. In Nigeria, at some point, I don't know whether they still do it now, banks, they always want chartered accountant, people that have ICANN. But at some point, even though that's what they wanted, they will never recruit you if you have ICANN, if they have a salary that is lower than the threshold. In their mind, I don't think anybody set it. In their mind, once you have ICANN certificate, you're certified. There is an amount they can never pay you below. It is not federal government that set it. ICANN built their reputation to that. Can we also find ways to see that we're able to promote engineering profession to such a level? Second point, national relevance. And I'm saying this as a personal challenge to all of us, including myself. When you mention NSC Nigeria, except for those of us that are engineers, probably because there is a national institution that uses that acronym as well. Maybe people remember them all, Nigeria Stock Exchange. But where I'm going is this: when there is a matter in Nigeria, people, even government, when you mention MBA, everybody keep quiet. When MBA conference is going on, please, I'm saying this as a personal challenge, honestly. I was surprised when they invited the governor from the northern Nigeria. And because there was noise around what he did at some point, and they had to drop him, he was so angry and furious that he came on air to come and discuss it and challenge it. Whereas, when some of our organizations, NSC branches and all that, when we invite the governor, we see it as a favor that they are coming to us. I think it's about the national relevance that we have come to. Can we find a way to push the national relevance of engineering bodies, both Korean and NSC, to see that we gain such reputation. Now, for instance, I was thinking, is it possible? I'm just some of this last question. I'm done, literally done. Is it possible that we find a way such that no public contract is awarded, irrespective of any engineering discipline, without approval from Korean, both at national level, up to state, up to local level? As such, that we can pitch it from value position. Some of the collapse of building that you see there and all that will not happen because it will be certified. But it's helping us to be able to have a stand with governments such that the voice of engineers and the voices of engineers will be regarded and find relevant. I want to thank you for the opportunity, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer Dr. Adeleke Adedoyin, for that insightful and wonderful presentation. Thank you very much for making our time to be here and to share this insightful knowledge with us. I'll kindly request that you stop sharing your screen so we can make the next session of question and answer. So if you have a question based on this topic that was just shared, kindly unmute your mic and ask your question. All right, Engineer Femi, please unmute your mic and ask your question. Engineer Francis, sorry.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So thank you, Engineer Adeleke, for the lecture. So mine is actually not a question, but a comment, which is in respect to the point you said that for example, like maybe some private organizations or some NGOs or some funds, some funding organizations actually find it difficult to reach out to governments. But the points that you mentioned, whereby you said if these organizations can actually go through maybe the NSC or Korean, it would be because I believe the government would tend to listen more, tend to give more listening ears to NSC and Korean. So I think it's a very nice initiative that such organizations or bodies can go through Korean or NSC in trying to push out whatever initiative they want to sell out to the government. So I think it's a very apt one. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. The next question, Engineer Joanne, can you unmute your mic and ask a question?
Okay, thank you, Adedoyin, for the wonderful presentation. Not really a presentation, but instructions you gave us. Okay, so I have there is something going on. This is championed by WFEO. Is called outcome-based education. Outcome-based education. I don't know if I've attended several of their meetings. I don't know the reason is not yet in Africa, or let me just say Nigeria, because I'm not sure about other African countries. But I'm not sure, I've not had any ones talking about it in Nigeria, like in NSC. But this, what they do is like they work with industries. Like, what do you want? Like, if you have projects you're expecting in the next 5 years, they start training people that just entered year 1 for this project. They work with industries. These people have to go from that year 1, they're in school already, they're reviewing documents, because the idea is for them to come out and work on that project. So they work with industries based on what the industry wants from the universities. These are already going on in Malaysia, in Singapore, because the guy that is sitting on WFEO, he's from there. I don't know that if that's why he's actually using his own base to do that. And I know there's a South African a guy that is on the board also, but I know it's ongoing, and they are preaching so much about this outcome-based education. I know they're talking about it, but now that in Nigeria is president-elect, maybe he will use his influence to extend this kind of training and understanding between the unis and the industry to Nigeria, maybe. Then another thing is, sometimes it is challenging when you enter a new environment. You are coming from abroad once in a while to come and to speak to the government, but like I know maybe it's from Bright, but somebody contacted you to speak to us today. So when there is things that should be championed in that you need to speak to Nigerian government about, or some of these grants you talked about, maybe you still go through this process, because today we're listening to you. So, and we know people that will also listen to us. Small, through this small process, we can get to somebody that can actually listen properly. I have a friend, he's a Ghanaian and he's in UK. I don't know, but I think he does this kind of thing because he's the one always bringing all these grants and asking the Ghana Institution of Engineering to apply for it. And I know they're applying for it. And they're applying from the engineering sector now. So I don't know if you get to NSC, maybe NSC can do something. And another thing is in our curriculum as a school curriculum now, I know everybody has been talking about this and they will set up committee to review it. And of course, it will not happen. But one thing is certain, no education is useless. When I left school, when I graduated and I started working, I worked under one British guy. He was my boss. I was reporting directly to him.
I'm no longer hearing Engineer Joan.
Yes? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you actually. I don't know if others are hearing.
Yes, I can hear you. I think the chairman made a statement or comment.
Okay. So I'm just rounding off. But when I started, I was reporting directly to this guy. But like 10 years after, he was reporting directly to me. He didn't go to school, but he's very good in CADing, in 3D drafting. And when I left school, this is what I started doing. So he was like the expert in that, and I was reporting to him. But down the line, 10 years down the line, it's time to make engineering decisions. And
is anybody hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
And now, so what I'm saying is that no knowledge is a waste. The only thing is that when you graduate, if you didn't have the opportunity to be part of these people that skill yourself up for the industry, once you graduate, start doing things that will scale you up. You already know what the industry wants.
Is anybody hearing me?
Who is speaking?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we can hear you.
My chairman, everybody is hearing you. So I actually want to thank you so much for these instructions, and we've listened and we'll do our part. And with your help, anything you think you can help us with, I think we are very open to that. Thank you so much, Adedoyin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. I really appreciate your response. Well, first of all, let me say, I mean, I didn't mean it to be instructions, probably suggestions, really. I'm too smart to give people here instruction, of course. But I understand what you're saying. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I mean, by the way, I have the name of Green Good Africa is a Nigeria headquartered organization, actually. We're actually making a green building in Ibadan, which will be commissioned later this year, built 100% with plastic bottles and all that. So, I mean, we are fully based in Nigeria, and I'm very, like, every day, I just finished meeting with my team in Nigeria, and and some of them in other part of the world. So, but I understand what you're saying, and about the education, outcome-based education. I mean, that's fantastic initiative. I do hope that I was trying to immediately check them online, but I've not been able to find them. Maybe if I find them, we can see. And by the way, I mean, it doesn't really. It's not a bad idea if knowing about that, one can just shoot an email to them. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, if I see that, I can shoot an email to them just to speak for Nigerian Voice, and if there's anything, I get back from there, I can. But if you can, I mean, what you mean by WEFO, I don't know the full meaning.
WFEO, World Federation of Engineering Organization.
Oh, okay. I thought it's WEFO. Okay, I'll check that out. If there is, I mean, I can check.
Nigerian is a president-elect, so that's why I said maybe he will.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can make a check around that. So that's fine. I really appreciate your response. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know this. And then in terms of opportunities, I mean, it definitely will find opportunity. You see, the program I brought to Nigeria recently was a 400 euro grants project. And I mean, by the grace of God, I've had privilege of putting a public university in Nigeria on a 1.3 million euro project. That was even before I left Nigeria because of my international conduct. So, but that's why it was an EU funded project, and Nigeria was completely not there. And I went to speak in an EU-AU meeting, and I found a way. I mean, I met some Nigerians and we're trying to get in there, but again, the government, it was really, really not a nice story. So, but I understand what you're saying. Definitely, it adds to me. That's why when you check, we just had election in Nigeria, and I mean, everybody knows that when they are doing election, what they want to check first, even if a candidate loses, even as a president or whatever, if you lose, what they want to check is, did you lose your ward? After ward, they say you lost local government. After local government, they say, what that means is this. No matter who you are around the world, no matter what impact you are making all over the world, people want to see what you are doing for your people. So when there is an opportunity, definitely, even if Nigeria is not there, we'll find a way to always put Nigeria there. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you so much
for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The other one, right?
Presentation. We want to thank you, Dr. Adedoyin, for that insightful. I don't know if the next presentation, appreciation for our speaker, which is Dr. Adeleke Adedoyin. Mr. Chairman, please, can you help with the presentation?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Adeleke, for really opening our eyes to the realities facing us as a country when it comes to engineering innovation, and for really sharing your international experience on how you have tried to use your patriotic mindset to really assist this great country to succeed. So we appreciate you, sir, and we are making this presentation of this certificate to you to say thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today. To assist me to make this presentation, I would humbly call on Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulo to help us. Sir, are you still online?
Myself?
Engineer Dr. Uche Obiajulo, are you online, sir?
Yeah, come back with the topic.
Oh, okay. Could you please help? Can you please help us make this presentation of this certificate to Dr. Adeleke?
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Adeleke Adedoyin, on behalf of the chairman of NSC VI branch, I present this certificate of appreciation to you for sharing your knowledge on engineering innovation for a more resilient world, which took place through the Zoom. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, SARS. Thank you to the NSC in general, to the VI branch, the chairmanship of the branch, and to the committee. I really, really appreciate it. I'm grateful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So back to you, Engineer Bright.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So with that, we'll come to the close of the session. It's been quite an insightful session, and we thank everyone for making our time to be available for this public lecture. So we'll take our closing prayer together. So we can all say the closing prayer together.
O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right,
That's right. Help our
help our
youth
youth
the truth to know,
in
love
love and
and
honesty
honesty to grow,
Living
and
just
living
just and true.
great
Great
love
love to save
right
heights attain,
to
to
build
build
in
in
it.
it
where peace
where
and
peace and
justice
justice shall reign.
shall reign.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much for that. So now we'll take a group photo. We kindly request that we turn on our cameras so we can be visible. So we just have a quick snapshot of ourselves.
Please stop sharing. Please stop sharing.
All right, sir.
Okay.
So for everyone present, please. Okay. So just a quick shot. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Thank you for.
Thank you, everyone.
It was
Thank
so
Thank
great
you very
having
much,
this.
everyone.
Thank you, Engineer Bright.
Thank you, my chairman. Thank you, Engineer Joan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night, all.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Goodbye.
Thank you.